Hello friends, Cinephile Mike here with day 76, the 95 days of award season boasts. Today I am here talking about James Gray's coming-of-age story, Armageddon Time. Now, of all the awards contention, Armageddon Time only received, of the major award shows, a single solitary nomination at the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Young Actor for Banks Repetta, who plays this fictional version of writer-director James Gray in this story that he borrowed from his youth growing up in Queens, New York in the 1980s, as he develops relationships and learns about the changing time in our relatively recent history. Now, Banks Repetta's character, Jewish-American Paul Graff, is a 6th grade student and product of the New York City public school system in Queens, where the schools are seeing overcrowded classrooms and integration that many are causing the educational levels and standards in schools to be declining. And he isn't getting the exposure that he needs. However, this doesn't matter to Paul. He's not interested in school. He's interested in becoming an artist. He spends his time drawing and getting lost in his fantasy worlds, a behavior that is supported by his very loving grandfather, played with a slight whimsy by Anthony Hopkins. Now, his parents, a middle-class couple played with great commitment by Anne Hathaway and Jeremy Strong, are trying their best to raise their 2 sons and give them what they can. Now, the older of their 2 sons, Paul's brother, is attending a private school, and the 2 boys are given different opportunities, but given the family's financial status, while Paul sells that they are one of the wealthiest families, they can't necessarily afford to send both students to the private institute. But then the parents' concern is slightly raised when Paul befriends a young African-American student, Johnny, played by Jalen Webb, who is now repeating the 6th grade. Now, these 2 make quick friends and bond over similar interests of music and card collecting and the illustrations that, as the plot goes along, we will see that this friendship and the decisions that are made, sometimes these decisions have dire consequences. Paul learns very quickly that the privilege that he is afforded is not available to all people, and while he likes to buck at this system, his parents are doing all that they can so the sons can grow up to be, more than they were and have this opportunity without making them feel so trapped. They're understanding, but they are products of the situation they're in. Now, this is a challenge for many families, even now, which makes this 1980s set film just as important as if we were seeing it set in present day. The only one main difference is that Paul and Johnny do not have all of the social media exposure that kids do today. So their learning of situations is a little bit more trial and error. Now, while this coming-of-age story does remind me a bit of what Spielberg did in this award season with The Fabelmans, the story is tight. And while Fabelmans is tight, this one's a little looser. It focuses on Paul's relationships with all the different members of his family and Johnny. And as a result, the through line with any of them kind of gets a little long and frayed, and then the filmmaker realized, I have to wrap this, so he kind of quickly wraps up with the moral at the end with a sort of sad punch of reality. Now, all this said, I do believe that Repetta's nomination for the Critics' Choice was well-deserved. He's a young performer who has a lot of plot to help carry, and he does this very well. It also helps that he has strong performers around him, including Hopkins, Hathaway, Strong, and the myriad of other talent that plays his family and friends. I'm a little surprised that there wasn't more recognition for this film with the award season, but again, it is similar in some elements to The Fabelmans, and that was a much stronger film, so therein lies why Armageddon Time, while it did have some critical response, was not a hit at the box office, and unfortunately did not land with audiences very well. But it landed well enough with me. I give the film a 4 out of 5 stars. A 4 out of 5 stars. There are fine performances and a well-captured 1980s Queens, which was well worth the watch. Now, if you haven't caught Armageddon Time yet, you can catch it streaming on Peacock or rent it on demand as of this post. See everyone tomorrow as we continue on with the 95 days of award season posts. Until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying, take a break and watch something new.